Well, I was gonna train legs today, but I don't know where. What? I only have a refrigerator. Just kidding. We are replacing, so we're gonna be in like 3 different rooms today because like half the leg stuff is over there. So we're redoing our gym. We're adding turf, which is really cool. So especially for those hit days, like that's where I've been normally doing it. So we're gonna, there's no weights over there? God. Ugh. Damn it, Rob. So first off, we're doing legs today, and it's my favorite day, which is glutes and hamstrings today, because who doesn't like a bigger butt? Sir Mix-a-Lot said it right. I like big butts and I cannot lie. So that's what we're doing today. But I actually added in a little bit of a warm up today, and we're gonna get right into it. So actually, so the thing I'm using is called a hip circle. It is by Mark Bell. You can find this on the Slingshot website. It's like $24, totally worth it, especially on leg day, anytime you're warming up. You also can just use a rubber band and you just tie it up really. Who is calling me all the time? I feel like every time I do a video, someone is texting me or calling me. So we're gonna just do a little warm up. You're gonna grab your hip circle or your band, and this is good for any leg day. You can do this. So we're gonna do lateral walks. So you'll be in a squat position. So the whole purpose of this hip circle, it's trying to bring your legs in, and you have to work against it. So by doing that, you're doing your abductors. So your adductors are your in, abductors are the way out. So then your abductors are what you're gonna be doing to create a nice butt on the side. So we're gonna be in a squat position. We're gonna go 5 steps right, 5 squats, 5 steps left, 5 squats, 5 steps right, 5 squats, 5 steps left, 5 squats. So this is what it would look like. Squat position. You're gonna step out as far as you can. Bring it together. 2, 3, 4, 5. Squat. 4, 5. Back the other way. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2. Your butt should be burning. 3, 4, 5. Oh! 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Oh! Yo! Your butt will appreciate that. So do 3 sets of that circuit. So you're doing about 10 to the left, 10 to the right, just split up with 5s and squats in between 3 sets. And then we're on to box squats. Next up, we'll move to our huge compound movement of today on leg day. I always try to incorporate some sort of squat. Whether it's a pause squat. Today we're doing box squats. We do a lot of regular squats. So the reason we're doing box squats, it's definitely more of a power lifter technique to build strength out of the hole. You're coming to like basically a stopping point and then exploding up. So a couple of the key tips here is descend slowly. You shouldn't just be plopping back, shouldn't just be falling down, okay? So your descent might be slower than your usual squat. So you're coming down slow, 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 till you touch. I pause for a second and then try to explode up. I'm not very explosive, but I try to be a little more powerful on the way up. So I'm very slow on the way down. Don't plop. Keep your chest up. Everything needs to be tight. So even when you get to that box, you don't want to relax. So even if you add like a little pause, you don't want to just sit on it, relax, and then tighten everything and back up. Everything has to stay tight the entire time. So really slow descent, tight, 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 tight. This is where you should actually be the tightest, and then explode up, okay? So we're doing 4 sets of 5. Biggest thing here is focusing on the descent. I do pause. Oh, there was one other tip I wanted to share with you is try not to do the rock back. I'm not saying it's completely wrong, but anytime, if you are someone that when you're doing your box squat, you go like this and then back up, you're losing your tightness. So that means maybe your core's not strong, you're not keeping it tight. So there should be no rock back. So you should be coming down, coming down. I don't move. I can sit and I can pause on it, but you're not rocking back. That's just momentum. But by doing this, you've lost tension here. You've lost tension in your quads. Stay exactly in your position. Find your spot, explode up. Down slow, find your spot, and up. And adding that slight little pause just adds, that's why I do pause squats so much, especially on glute and ham day, but because it recruits more muscle fibers from the back of your legs, so your hamstrings and glutes, just by coming to a complete standstill. Because if you're doing like the little touch and go, you're not recruiting as many muscle fibers. So I like to always add a little pause and then back up. It just makes it a little bit harder, and you're going to recruit more from the back side of your legs to get back up. That was a lot of talking. Let's put some weight on. So remember that the sets that I have there, the 4 sets of 5, those are your working sets. So this first set is just a warm up. So I'm not going to start counting. So it says 4 sets of 5 at about 70%. That's about when you can start counting. So when I start counting, so this one won't count, my next one won't count. These are all just warm ups to get to my 70%, which is around 205. And then I'm going to try to work up from there. So every set, I'm going to try to add 5 or 10 pounds. If I feel good, bump up 10. If I don't, if I feel like, just bump up 5. That's fine. So we'll go over a couple key tips because now I actually have weight on the bar. It makes a huge difference instead of just holding an imaginary bar. I also do a low bar. It's all up to you. I prefer low bar because it helps my center of gravity, so I can come down a little bit lower on my regular squats. So back it up, feet out. I always point my toes slightly out. Remember, you're coming down really, really slow. So descend slow, down slow, tight, stay tight here, and up. Down slow, stay tight, and up. 3, 4, 5. Also, the height, so this was too low. The bench was a little bit too high. So I'm doing just right about where my calf is, because I want to be, as long as you go to about parallel, so you can see that's below parallel, so you can see the big V. So as long as you're right about here, that's about parallel for me. So if you're a bigger dude, you can use a bench. That's fine. So you can even stack 45s up if you don't have boxes. Just get something somewhat close. It should be, I'm losing my breath. Should be right under your knees. So let's get to it. More weight. Welcome to the other side of the gym that's not finished yet. And we have stuff randomly placed. So next is a little combination. I always like to do leg curls and then throw in some sort of leg press of some sort. Now my vertical leg press is over by the garage door. So I'm gonna do a reverse hack. So do anything more hamstring dominant You could do a leg press with your feet high. You could do a vertical leg press if they have that. You could do a vertical leg press on a Smith machine. I will be demonstrating the reverse hack squat. So this is actually called a V squat. Some people call it a hack squat. You can also do this on a regular hack sled, but I will be doing it. If your gym has this piece of machine, this was on my like wish list of needing. Besides a vertical leg press, I wanted a power squat because, the way it feels on your hamstrings is amazing. So if you've never used that and it's in your gym, please go use it, and I will show you how it's done. So we're gonna do leg curls first. Now, if your gym is super busy, let's say you work out at Crazy LA Fitness, just separate these two exercises, not a big deal. I just like to compact everything as much as I can to save time and to make this so I don't have to go so heavy. So if I pre-exhaust with my leg curls, when I get to my my squat, it's gonna feel a lot heavier. So that's why I like to do it, plus it saves me time. But if your gym is crazy packed, just separate them, do one at a time. Do the leg curls and then go to that. So with our leg curls, we are just doing anywhere from 10 to 12 reps, regular full reps. And then when you start failing, so I want you to get to a point where you can't bring the weight up anymore and you're starting to get less and less and you can't get all the way up to your butt. You're then gonna do some pulsing reps, whether that's in the middle, whether that's at the end, or even at the beginning. Maybe each time you're gonna separate it. So what those pulsing, so I'll do a couple key tips is keeping your hips on the pad at all times. I think I've gone over this a billion times, but a good way to do that, if you're someone that while you're going, your hips start coming up, one, you probably have too much weight, but how you can fix that, and which will also fix the amount of weight that you do, is elevate your chest. So no matter what, me pushing up, keeping my chest up, is going to keep my hips down the whole entire time. So if you can come down here like this, but I like to isolate it a little bit more and I keep my chest up. I can't do as much weight that way because it isolates it a little bit more, and I just hold the top. So we're just doing regular reps, nice and slow and controlled. Squeeze at the top, back down, squeeze at the top, back down. So once you have weight where you're starting to fatigue around 10, then you're gonna do pulsing reps. So you can do them at the bottom, you can do them at the middle, or you can do them at the top. You're just gonna try to keep moving the weight. So I'm just gonna pulse. A lot of times I usually just keep going until so this is good rep. And then as I start dying, they get smaller and smaller and smaller. And I just try to keep moving the weight as much as I can. So you're just doing like those little pulsing reps. So just keep going until your legs don't move anymore. And then you'll come over here. Hi. And pick whatever machine you want. So maybe you do a leg press anytime your feet are higher. So usually there'll be like a little kink. So your feet lower than this is gonna work your quads. Your feet higher than this is gonna work more of your hamstrings and glutes. However, we're gonna do this amazing fine piece of machinery. So we're gonna do a reverse. So if I was this way, this is gonna target, it's gonna work your whole legs, but it's gonna target your quads. We're gonna face the opposite way. Couple key tips. I move my feet generally to the back, and the first thing that moves is actually my hips. So instead of breaking at your knees like you would normally do with a squat, so a normal squat, you break at the knees and come down. I'm actually gonna break at the hips. So that's gonna push my butt backwards. So my hips feet are back. Knees are slightly bent. You're gonna hinge at the hips first. So knees aren't really moving. You're gonna hinge and then come down with it. that hinge is just gonna make your butt shoot back more, which that's what we want. We're working on our posterior. So we're working on our hamstrings and our glutes. So instead of breaking at the knees first, which feels more quads, we're gonna break at the hips. So let your butt come back, break at the hips, and then squat down, extend up. Hips, up. You can see the angle of it. Instead of coming straight down in a squat, you're pushing at an angle. So this is where the power comes from. So one more time, I'll show you the difference. So this would be like a regular squat, up and down, which I would, if I was doing a regular squat, I would face the other way. But this is breaking at the knees, which is still a great exercise, but I want you to bring your feet back a little bit, and you're gonna bring your butt back. So hips, and you're pushing forward this way. So you can tell my head is going that way instead of this way, because we're pushing from back here. Butt back, push. Butt back, push. I obviously need just a little, maybe like just 10s. It's a little heavy. So 10 to 15 reps on that. You're going until you can't go anymore. So even if they're just little partials at the end, then you're gonna come here. Our first set is gonna be 12. Second set's gonna be 10. So when the reps start going down, weight starts going up. So we're gonna go 12, 10, 8, and then bump up again, but try to hit 8 again. So 12, 10, 8, 8. Good luck. All right, next up, we are gonna hit those glutes. This is, I feel like, every female's favorite exercise of all time. It's actually one of my least favorite, but I know it's good for your butt. So we're gonna do it. So you're gonna need a bench. You're gonna need your bands. I'm using the Hip Circle by Mark Bell. You can also just use regular bands. We're gonna do a set where we're gonna do a rep. You're gonna do the rep with the weight, added weight to you, with 3 pulses in between each rep. Once you are completely exhausted and you can't do any more, you're gonna drop down, get that weight off of you, and then you're gonna go into a floor glute bridge, and you're just gonna go till failure. So, what it looks like. Oh, I'm against a wall because I was pushing back. Another huge thing that is very important, especially, this isn't a whole lot of weight, this is just to demonstrate, but once you start going heavier, it can be a little uncomfortable. So you can either grab a yoga mat, you could grab a sweatshirt, but I just like to wrap the bar just for a little added comfort. Hip circle is gonna be right above your knees. I grab my bench. You all right, Kai? I grab my bench. My upper back is going to be on it. So your shoulder blades, upper back. And then once I'm all situated, I'm still moving. There, now we're all the way back. Still moving, there we go. Once you're all the way back, I like to keep my hands on the bar just so it stays level and in position. But you just do, some people will have their arms out here. It's all up to you. So get the bar right. It's gonna sit right in basically where that little crevice is. I don't know what another name, the crevice, you know, the crevice of your hip bone. It's gonna stay right in your hip bone. Oh, you know, the crevice. So you're gonna go up, glute bridge. Once you're up, I like to hold the bar just to keep it in place. In the up position, you're gonna go 1, 2, 3, back down, touch, up, 1, 2, 3, down, up, 1, 2, 3, and my butt is already hurting. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Once you get maybe like 10 to 12 there, get the bar out of there. You can either stay in that position if you like that position. I'm just gonna switch to a floor position.
into my glute bridge, and I'm gonna go 1, 2, 3 until you can't go anymore. Squeeze that butt the whole time, and you're just hitting those abductors. Oh, if you need to add a little bit, just a rep in there, and if you want to keep going, if you drop down, put it back up and keep going, you probably can. Go until you can't go anymore, and your butt's gonna explode. So hip thruster with 3 pulsing abductions in between each rep, then drop the weight, and then just do glute raise with abduction to failure. It's a lot of words. My butt hurts.
Next up, almost done, guys. So we are going back to a landmine machine. Again, I'm doing it on a T-bar. You could do this on a landmine row. The one that it's just basically a 45 that hooks into something. Or you can even do it with a 45-pound bar in a corner. But it works great with a T-bar. The only thing that I alter is I like to be up a little bit more. So I elevate myself so I get more of a stretch. Taller people probably don't have that issue. Short people like myself, if you're 5'5" and below, you'll probably have to elevate yourself, maybe even on a bigger like rubber plate. That's just so that I can get more of a stretch. So I'm gonna show you just the normal way, and then I'm gonna show you a way that you can actually make it a little bit more difficult. So if you're looking for something a little bit more advanced, I will get you. So the first part is just a landmine SLDL, which is a straight leg deadlift. So big thing here is keeping that back nice and flat. You're not really rounding, you don't want to round, so keep it flat. Keep your chest up high. So chest is up, tighten up your back. You obviously are going to tighten your glutes and hamstrings. So I'm going to be about shoulder width. You just place both hands on around around. I know I was going to say shaft. You know, the thing that sticks out. Place your hands on it. I don't know why I'm overcomplicating this now. So, bend down. I start in the up position. Big thing here between an SLDL and then an RDL is knees. So we're going to be in a slightly locked position, and then they don't move. An RDL it starts in an unlocked position, and then you almost kind of squat into it and then extend up. That would be an RDL, which is totally fine too. We're just doing stiff-legged deads. So knees are slightly locked, back is nice and tight and straight. Come down. I generally come all the way down to the ground, and then hips forward. So the movement here, what initiates this is I want you to focus on contracting your butt together. So squeeze your butt, squeeze your hamstrings. So before you move up, so even if I was just doing this, you get that little movement just by squeezing. So initiate the movement through the contraction of your hamstrings and glutes. Keep your knees nice and tight and straight, not bent, not locked out, but just a slight bend. So we're doing about 10 to 12 here. Contract and up. And then on the up, throw your hips forward and really squeeze your butt. Squeeze. 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 So 10 to 12 there. And then you're going to move your feet out into a sumo stance. Sumo means wider than your shoulders, and your feet are going to be angled out just a tad. So regular squat is a very slight angle. Sumo, you can be a little bit wider. So now we're going to be hitting the insides of our thighs, which all girls really love to hit. And then on the way up, you're going to hit, kick those hips forward again. So down, hips forward, and squeeze. And really almost like thrust your hips forward so that you squeeze more of your butt. Again, chest stays nice and tall. Come down, squeeze, and throw those hips forward. The main part here is the top part. So once you get to the top, hips forward, you can even lean back a little bit into it and really throw those hips forward and squeeze your butt. So you're almost, this is like a pre-exhaust, and I don't change the weight. So I'm going, like obviously that was really light. I'm gonna go as heavy as I can with the straight leg deadlifts so that when I get to the squats, they feel just as heavy and I don't really change the weight. If you want to add, oh, I almost forgot to talk about it. I'm gonna catch my breath. If you want to a more advanced addition to this, you can add a band. I just took a regular band, wrapped it once. You're gonna put your feet underneath, both sides, and just put that on top so you make a little triangle. And then you can keep this on for both exercises. So this is just gonna add a little more tension throughout the whole range of the movement. And then you probably won't need to go as heavy because it's gonna be pulling you down. So on your way down, it's gonna just make you work a little bit harder on your descent because it's gonna wanna pull you down faster and you need to work against it to pull yourself down slower. So if this is more advanced, and if you wanna try it, feel free. But it's the same thing. I actually, just so the rubber band stays in place, I put my thumbs over top of it. So now it's in the stretch position, so it's adding more tension at the top. So you come down, same thing, a little bit less at the bottom. At the top, it gives you a little bit more. Obviously, the thicker the band, the more resistance you'll get. And then if you have to loop it, it obviously doubles the resistance as well. So you can add that. It's just a little additive to make it a little bit more advanced. And if you want to impress people at the gym, like, whoa, where'd you learn that? Just tell me you learned it from me and send them to my website. We're here, guys. We're at the end. The end is here. So we're gonna end with my other favorite. So this, I feel like this workout was just full of my favorite things and one of my least favorite, which is hip thrusters, but I know it's your favorite, so I added it in. We're doing the 1.5 rep, which anytime you do a 1.5 rep, you're just adding time under tension. So it's almost like you're pulsing at the part where you want it to grow. So we're gonna do the sprinter stance Bulgarian split squat. So the key difference between a regular split squat, Bulgarian split squat, so this would be like on quad day, our chest would be up and dumbbells would be at our sides. So this would be just a regular Bulgarian. For me, or today, for you guys, we're gonna do the low stance. So our torso is gonna be leaned forward, our chest is gonna be facing the ground. And if you have weights, I generally start in this position. So the weights will be right about where your working leg is. And the reason we're doing this is that leaning over is now just gonna explode your hamstrings and glutes. So it's just working the back side, my phone, the back side of your legs more so than the top part of your legs. So, and with the 1.5 rep, I'm gonna do it without first. I guess I should just show you with these. So 1 rep, down, touch the ground, up, down, up, down, up, and up. And you will feel this. So I think I wrote maybe 6 to 8 reps on each leg. The reason we're only doing 6 to 8 is because every half rep, if you add it all up, you're basically doing 12 reps. So do 6 to 8 on this side, switch, start in the up position, come all the way down, touch, back up, down, touch, and that's 1. Down, up, down, 2. Down, up, down, 3. Down, up, down, up. So you're just adding a little more time under tension to really target those glutes. You're gonna feel it within 1 rep, I promise you. 4 sets, 6 to 8 on each side, and then you're done. So get to it. All right, guys, this is my last set. So you can cheer me on, or you can stop watching this video and go work out. Let me know what you guys think. If you enjoyed this workout, oh my God, comment below. Oh, that was a bad idea. Comment below, let me know what you guys think. If you're enjoying the new split, so we've been doing the same split. So every week is generally, you're always hitting, so you know, oh, Monday, I already know what we're training. Tuesday, I already know what you're training. So comment below if you enjoyed this workout. Who's calling me?